Alright, so this is how I load my shot shells. Now, from the previous video, this one is the one that comes straight out of the box that I just fired some birdshot. This is the copper one that has been reloaded. You can see the copper colored primer. Now, for my use, I use CCI shot shell primers. I use Claybuster WAA 12SLs wads, and I use slugs. For powder, I use HS6. And I guess we can start by, here's the load data from hodgdon.com. I am going to be using the SLs, and I tried to estimate with some of the bushings. Now, for me, I use, I gotta do the, alright, so I use the new bushing style with the rubber on the inside. You can find the number for the bushing right on the side, right there. So this is number 29. So according to my number 29, I calculate out from 28.8 to 33 grains, which is perfect in my eyes. Installing, let me go through some installation. Okay, so I'm going to put the powder bar with the rubber side up. There is going to be a spring on the backside that holds the powder bar in, and you're going to have to reinstall a screw here, which I will do. So this screw goes inside this hole right there. Kind of see the screw now. Right there, you can see it holds it from getting stuck. I do use a bushing, a baffle. This is the baffle that I use. It goes in between. Another trick for loading. I cut the top of a bottle. I use it as funnel, so I don't have to buy another funnel. I bought my MEC 650 used, so it came with some pretty old bottles, so I kept running into the problem that I couldn't see how much powder was left, and picked up a new bottle, and now you can kind of see how much more powder you have. That's pretty important. If you don't put powder in a shot shell and you fire it, you're going to have a stuck slug in your barrel. I mean, it's not hard to take out, but it's not easy when you don't have any rods to use. Alright, so let's set this guy up. Let's see here. This bar right here, this hooks on to a little pin right there. And what this is going to do is going to load up your primers. You have primers in here. Okay. So I guess we'll just get started. Alright, so to get started, we are going to start with one here, which is in the deep prime. We are going to cycle once, You can see primer comes out, cord is pulled right here, one primer drops. You can kind of see the primers right here going to get dropped into there. So when I move it over, it gets dropped into the little hole. Kind of see it's right there. So I'm going to move that over. Put the next one in. This is going to prime and put some powder in. Now usually on the first ones I will always usually check. Now there is no powder in here, so we need to recheck this. Okay. And primed. Okay. So now there is powder in here, so we can keep going. So I'm going to again move the carriage over. There is going to be one primer inside, and let's put a new one in. Now, third stage. Since I do not have the second hooked up, I'm going to be loading slugs. Let's keep going. I'm going to put the wad in first. Go to the next step. Okay, so now let's move you to this side. Alright, now what you're going to be able to see is on the reloader there is a gauge here on how far to go down. What I've been doing is I put the slug in after I put the wad in, and I push it down to about 40. I noticed that it gets a little bit more consistent in terms of what depth it needs to go down. So since I don't pull all the way, it doesn't really release more powder to the next step. So I will pre-crimp. So that gives me the crimping right here. Okay. So again, that one has a wad. I throw a slug in, and this one doesn't want to go in all the way. You can even hand do it in. Kind of looks like that. Just going to put it back in. I'm going to lower it down to 40. Come back up. And go to the next stage. Now, on the fourth stage here, you're going to see is this stage, it gets pre-crimped. This has been pre-crimped. It's going to be now crimped. So, how about I leave the camera over here? Okay. Put another shell in, and go down. There we go. See how nicely it's crimped? Now, we're going to go to the next turn. Oh, wait. I got to do the slug. Slug goes in. Push it down to 40, then spin it around. Now, the last stage I have here is this bar. This bar supposedly resizes the whole tube. I gotta put in another one of these. Okay. Put it in a wad. And we're good. Alright, we're done with one full cycle. Now, once again, we put the slug in, hold it down to 40, and pull this guy out. And that's my system. So now, what we'll do is put you over here, and I'll just make some and you can kind of see how it turns out.